We'll call this meeting to order at 7 p.m., almost at a.m.
Feels like it.
For God's sake. First on the agenda is a public hearing. I need a motion to move into a public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The first item concerns item PB 25-5, 972 Main Street, an application of Sid Gellert of Tree Top Group for special permit approval and site plan review of Winchester zoning bylaw under section 8.1.12.6, development review, section 9.4, special permit, section 5.1.6.6, design of all off-street parking facilities, where a special permit is required to allow for tandem parking. Section 8.12.5, Table 1, Number 3, standards, where a special permit is required to allow for a 5-foot rear setback for parking abutting a residentially zoned district where 10 feet is required for the premises known as 972 Main Street, Winchester, Massachusetts. The property is located in the MSD, the Main Street Mixed-Use District. The applicant is proposing a modification to the existing special permit to allow a rear setback which is less than required by zoning. Shall we call up the applicant?
I should recuse myself.
Yeah.
I'll go sit tall.
Cortezis is recusing himself. So the floor is yours.
Evening to the chair and members of the board. My name is Jeff Eugenio of Gellerman Cabral. My colleague Mike Cabral was before you last time.
Yeah, you don't look like
Mike Cabral. But I have read up. I did actually watch the video at the last hearing, so hopefully I am apprised of what happened last time and what the board is looking for tonight. As I understood, based on the close of the last hearing, after a lot of discussion that centered around what I saw is two issues, that 5-foot parking setback to the rear of the property for those 4 parking spots we were looking at. The discussion focused on whether that was actually approved in that state back in October of last year. Our position was that it was. There was some concern from Mr. Kennedy about whether those spots were in line with the requirements of the Architectural Access Board. Was there going to be vegetation and buffering? And I'd just say on that, if they need to be paved, willing to pave them. If the board, if they can remain, that buffer may remain vegetated, willing to do that, of course. Our view on that is that the board thought that they were needed, that they were approved back in October, and whatever we need to do to satisfy the accessibility requirements, absolutely willing to do that. So I saw that as the one topic as to, in our view, is that waiver was essentially granted. The board has the power, as you know, to grant waivers in this particular district, and that was done. And so, but happy to entertain any conditions, et cetera, that the board wants to put around those. And the second issue was a more general design concern, that there was concern that the facade, the architectural style of the redesign was different from what was before the board back in October. I think we thought we were tasked with leaving that hearing last week to go back and make as many changes, modifications, or to essentially return the style of that building to be as closely resemble the October approval as possible. There was no effort no intention to change anything. There were some of the modifications that were made was because we had to, if you recall, remove the balconies to satisfy the open space requirement. We needed to widen the travel lane in the rear of the property to 24 feet, so that brought the front of the building 3 feet closer to Main Street. So there were some adjustments to satisfy those requirements, the open space and the travel lane in the rear. But the intent is to keep with the architectural style I'm an attorney, I don't know all the right words, but to keep to the architectural style that was approved in October. We have Tim Johnson here to explain any of that. We have a presentation. The board wants to see blow-ups and in color of what the project is planned to be. And of course, Sid is here. So with that, happy to answer the questions that the board may have or concerns tonight.
Amy, Carrie, Brian, any questions, concerns?
So I'll start to
Go
kind of
ahead.
fall asleep soon. I agree. I think that this board implicitly approved the 5-foot buffer zone. I think that's what we thought we were doing. I think we did everything but formally approve a waiver for that. All the plans had a 5-foot zone there. That's what I think we all agreed to. I'm not speaking for the rest of the board. I don't see any problem with that. Tom has said that must be all paved or may have to be all paved. I don't want to speak for him. I would prefer it to not be paved unless it has to be paved. And I don't want to presuppose what needs to be done there. If it can be, I think that's enough on that. As far as the design, I looked at it. I think it's much more in line with what was approved and what went through the whole design review process. I don't know, is this going back through the design review process? Is the DRC?
DRC is going to look at it
Okay.
in their next meeting in July.
So that's extraordinarily helpful because I feel like I want them to look at it. The specific question I have is regarding the ramp in the front. I might be misremembering. I thought the ramp was a lot larger in the previous versions in order to have the appropriate rise over run as required. I've just looked at this. I haven't done any measurements on it, but I'd want to make sure that ramp is adequate. I just remember the other ramp being a lot larger, longer.
It was also on the other side.
It was on the other side, and it looked longer, and we'll want to make sure that we didn't discover that it wasn't appropriate for ADA. I'm sure you looked at the, I'm not trying to say anything that you haven't already looked at, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm going to be Tim question.
I'm going to claim ignorance on that, Tim.
Sure, sure. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, if you can go to the site plan, next, please. Next, please. There we go. So, since the building was shifted toward Main Street 3 feet due to the requirement to enlarge the rear travel aisle from 19 foot 9 inches to 24 feet, we have our 2 foot deep bays. The ramp was now to be located between the 2 bays with a rise of about 18 inches. 1 per 12 ramp, so we need 18 linear feet of ramp, and that is what this design shows.
Okay.
And that's code.
That is code, yes.
Okay.
So there's 2 sets of ramps, though? Am I misinterpreting the diagram, that the ramp goes up and then goes to the, I'm looking at the same diagram.
Right.
I think you are, and
It
then it
goes-
goes up, and then there's a ramp right there as well.
Right, a very small ramp, which you wouldn't even notice as you either turn left to the commercial space or right to the residential. You can also access the commercial by straight steps, straight to the front door.
Okay.
And there's steps on the right, or on the left end that
Right,
meet the ramp.
Right, so you have-
2 sets of steps.
right. So you have steps on the left, ramp on the right.
Okay.
And so the ramp, this is a door here between where the ramp comes, when the right ramp goes to the right, and there's a door into the commercial space?
There's a door into the commercial space, correct, and our door into the residential.
Okay, good.
Okay.
But just to be clear, one of the main selling points for the MSMD district was 12-foot sidewalks, and I think we've gone from, by scooting the building forward to accommodate the safety of the parking in the driveway in the rear of the building, we've gone from a 12-foot sidewalk to an 11-foot sidewalk to, I think, an 8-foot sidewalk, 4 of which is ramp, which leaves pedestrians 4 feet, give or take, to pass in front of the ramp. assuming there might be, sort of wheeled, patrons leaving the premise. I mean, we've scooted it. Am I reading that correctly?
Sure, the outside edge of the ramp is on the property line. So the existing sidewalk, I believe, is in the order of 11 feet.
What's the 7 foot 9 inch? Where are we going from? So is the 7 foot 9 inch on the right? It's next to the 64.5. Sorry, I'm really tired. So my already compromised vision.
That section?
I see what she's looking at.
Yeah, let me pull out my,
My old eyes are so happy right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm just going to look this way and look at what you're looking at here.
so you,
Feels like it.
It's a 7-9 rate.
Winchester graduation is an endurance event. You too.
Party continues.
right, so
Yeah.
the 7 foot 9 is the width of the sidewalk at that point, and I believe it,
But what is, so from the ramp edge or from the building edge? Because, so 6 feet, so the ramp is 5 feet wide. 6 feet is to the dotted line where you're completely clearing all structures?
the 6 feet is the setback of the foundation to the front property line. And then from, which is the darkened line. And from that darkened line to the outside edge of the curb, it's approximately 7 foot 9 inches.
So 14 feet from the building to the outside of the curb and 7.9 from the ramp to the curb. Is that right?
It's from the property line, it's 7 foot 9 inches to the curb,
Okay.
correct? And then the foundation setback 6 feet from the property line, and the bay is set back 4 feet. So that area in front of the bays on either side will be planted, which is shown in the landscape plan.
Okay. Do we have easy access to the landscape plan? So, and then circling back to the back of the building, my memory of us not formally passing the waiver was because that space was very much in flux, and it was sort of like, we may need it for access if it ends up being the accessibility vehicle space, which it did not end up being. And the key intention of that piece of the bylaw was buffer and protection from the neighboring property. And while the neighboring property is not the situation that we have at 910 Main Street, where the neighbor is just like inches to feet off the property line, we're constantly battling expanding homes. And so we do still need to protect the abutter. So have we heard anything from the abutter about their thoughts on the 5 foot and how best we should use it? Should we pave it? Should we put vegetation? Is he a abutter here? No. Okay.
I don't believe have they?
Is the
I don't think
butter
they've
step
ever-
forward? I don't remember.
I don't remember them stepping forward, but I didn't know if we had sort of like, I mean, maybe they don't have concerns. It's a very different property layout than what we're looking at on 910 Main, but that doesn't mean it will forever be a different property layout. And the goal is to make sure that we're screening what is supposed to be a built-up corridor from a very residential neighborhood, and a tight residential neighborhood.
Why I'm concerned about the 5 foot
Yes,
setback. We'd like to have some
vegetated buffer.
vegetation, but the building commissioner, he's left. That's fine. The building commissioner kind of frowned on that. He said it needs to be paved, as I recall from our last meeting. And there's no give there. I mean, you couldn't pull it even further forward, could you?
Could we go to the ground floor plan?
Because that was a concern last time we went through this, and I'm
That
sure
one there.
Sid remembers.
The one below it? Yes. Zoom out, please. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the ground. We need to go to the site plan. A little bit before that drawing?
There he is.
Yeah, there we go.
You're
Yeah, keep
you
going
got to
that
stop
direction.
coming to these, Tom.
I'll be back at the table soon.
I'm right here. Is it this one?
No,
Nope.
no, it's previous.
To the beginning of the drawings?
Yes, the first
There we
one.
go.
Keep going.
That's
There it
good.
is, that's
There we
it.
go. There we go.
Pull it down a bit so we can see the setback. There. Nope, further. Nope, down.
24 feet. Is it 24 feet the issue?
There it is, okay. So
Right.
that's the 5 foot buffer zone. And Taylor, the 24 foot is the requirement
for a drive aisle.
for the drive aisle, so we don't have any give.
We really can't give up any of that because we already have tandem parking plus side spots, and we can't make it narrow. I mean, I remember Brian's exercise of being like, and if I back out and I'm waiting for that one to pull in,
And in answer to
and
my
there's snow in the corner.
It's always snow.
There's literally always
question, in our last meeting, Mr. Kennedy said that there can't not be any plantings in that buffer.
Is this true? No plantings in the 5 foot?
Would you like to come forward, Mr. Kennedy? There's a spare microphone here. Yeah.
We're just going to throw your name on a chair pretty soon.
So I guess the simple answer is that there could be, until there's a need to make that an access aisle. And then if it's made an access aisle, it needs to be a solid surface, either concrete or pavement.
But for instance, they could have one of these big, massive planters with some kind of a shrub.
No, it needs to be 5 feet of unobstructed.
Oh, I understand that.
Pathway.
But you say when it becomes an accessible space, then it needs to be totally free.
Totally free.
But until that time, they could put planters back there.
They could.
Wait, access aisle for like a fire? Like, what do you mean?
No, for
Accessibility.
ADA.
Oh, I see, okay. But we put
actually-
that. So we only have one space.
Slight difference. It's, building code does not recognize ADA. We recognize the AAB.
Okay.
Architects recognize ADA, but I only check for AAB.
So
That's
this,
an AAB.
so this would be a resident moving in who has that need. We don't have an available space in the garage, so we need to convert the space, and we have to mow down the vegetation.
This individual space in the garage, Sid, is that an accessible space?
That's a van.
That's a van accessible
Okay,
space.
so we only need one in this building, correct?
That is correct. We need only one accessible space. Between 15 and 25 parking spaces, you're only required to have one accessible space. However, 1 in 8 spaces are required to be van accessible. So in lieu of a van accessible space, if you make the one accessible space 11 feet wide with a 5-foot access aisle next to it, and whatever the depth is required by code, 18 to 20 feet, that suffices the code.
So we wouldn't need any accessible spaces in the rear.
Well, we would. Because there's an elevator in the building,
Right.
they're categorized as Group 1. Group 1 need to be able to be converted to accessible needs of future residents. So if somebody moves in, the van space would be for possibly visitors, but you would have to give somebody an accessible space. And that, if that happens, then the 5-foot buffer zone becomes an access aisle.
If you were to designate, say, the parking space furthest to the right as that space that would become accessible,
The issue is that it's Group 1, so you have to meet the need of future residents. If there's more than
any
one,
number, like it could be every
There's more
single
than one.
resident. Really? I don't see how it would be possible to convert 21 spaces into accessible space.
well, that's why I said keep the 4 spaces outside. I don't think that you would exceed the 4 spaces.
Just as a rule of averages, I suppose, but
But there's no way to convert the inside spaces, right, without taking one out?
Correct. So in my eyes, the van space is for visitors.
oh, really? That could not be assigned to a resident who needs a van accessible?
Until another resident needs another space. So the van space is for somebody that would need a van. The other spaces are somebody that may be in a wheelchair that could drive a car.
Was that your intention, Sid, for that van accessible space?
So that was the requirement for accessibility, right?
That's a requirement for the Architectural Access Board,
Yeah.
521 CMR. Is you're required to have a van accessible space. And that is the dimensional requirements, 11 feet wide with a 5-foot access aisle, 8-foot 2 clearance in the garage. And that's what we're providing.
So the requirement is that you need one accessible space for every 15. If you have the one, it needs to be a van accessible space, and that's
1 in 8 required accessible spaces are required to be van accessible. And since we only have one,
It needs to be
van accessible.
So back to my question a minute ago, if we designated, for instance, the parking space on the furthest right as the space that could be converted should someone need it, and then we could have some plantings on the rest of it, is that okay or not?
That's a question for you. I mean,
Is that a waiver that we, okay.
I mean, my question would be, if you need 2, you need 3, you're going to keep on going down the line.
If I would, Mr. Chair, you can make a condition that says that, we'll have plantings unless required to convert.
I suppose the condition might be that it would be easily convertible. So for instance, you might brick that in so that it's permeable. Does that make sense? And then if you had to convert it into...
Bricks may or may not meet accessibility.
Really?
It needs to be a smooth surface.
I would suggest you require them to landscape it now, and if it needs to convert at any time in the future, they will convert it and it will be hardscaped.
They'll take down the tree or whatever and
I
pave
think
it.
the issue is that they cannot be deeded spaces. So if you take a look at the parking situation, you really only have 8 dedicated parking spaces, in my eyes. Maybe you look at it.
No, I understand. You said that last time. I get that.
So that means that 8 people will have deeded spaces, 4 people may be able to park, 2 units will not have parking.
You understand what he's saying? The 8 spaces? 'Cause
Yeah.
Tom considers tandem spaces a single space.
No, understood, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I just want to make sure you understood. So under that count, we've got 8 plus 5, so we've got 13 spaces there.
On 8 plus 4.
I'm sorry, 8 plus 4. So no, the single space there.
That's a
Be
very accessible
accessible.
space.
It has to be flagged for
You can't assign that to anybody but somebody that needs
Got it. Got it. I don't know. I mean, I'm inclined to. I want that landscaped, but
I know.
I'd hate to plant a tree and watch it grow for 10 years. And
Well, we could plant arbor vitae. I mean, no
Yeah.
one's super depressed when those come down.
yeah, that's a good screen, and it grows fast.
So I want to be intellectually honest. If we look back, and I just pulled it up, the packet from 10/21, which was the date that we approved
Proved
this.
it, yeah.
That whole area was a 5-foot adaptable aisle, is what we had listed it as. That was the last plan that we approved, was included basically what we have here, adaptable. And I thought, maybe I'm just exhausted, that we thought it was going to be landscaped unless,
We did. I did.
I feel like, I don't. I feel
See,
like we
this is
went
why
over-
you need to come to
I feel
all
like
our
we went over
meetings.
all this, and we said it was going to be landscaped unless it had to become unlandscaped for.
I think we're in the action stage, though. Like, what do we plant there? Like, what is the alternative? Like, I think we're. I don't disagree with you. I just think I don't think the conversation's in contradiction to what you're saying. I think we're just trying to play out how we actually do it. Like, is it worth planting? Like, our plan was we plant it unless we can, and now we're sort of saying, like, do we plant it?
Yeah. Or put big pots out there and put plants in it. I don't know, something.
No, because they can't. Right? You
They
said
can then be
no.
moved, and if they taken away.
They're so heavy, Brian.
We have machines.
CrossFit.
Go to
versus
CrossFit, and then you can pick it up.
I'll never go to CrossFit.
What do we do here, Taylor? Do we need a motion to, or is it sufficient the way it's written already?
I don't know what your goal is. Hard for me to make a motion to.
I think we're looking for some landscaping. Am I right?
Yeah, where's the landscaping plan? What happens on the? Now I feel like we should look at the landscaping plan.
If you would like them to add, if you like the plan as it is now, you want to make sure that there's landscaping in that buffer zone. You can make a motion to that fact, telling them.
So to say it out loud, I don't like the plan. I didn't like it when we approved it. I like us protecting our setbacks, but I want to check in with whether we finally satisfied the potentially worse version of safety criteria for
The
you.
only other question I would have is that the landing zone is marked like that entire area is the landing zone, so anybody can park in that landing
Loading
zone.
zone? Yes.
The loading zone, sorry. So how is the turning radius on those 2 far spaces adequate?
you have a 16-foot deep car going into a 20-foot wide travel aisle. So I think you've got a good amount of space to turn, Mr. Kennedy.
But if that hole is an active loading zone, somebody can park there.
Yeah, if you have a UPS truck unloading somebody's, or not a UPS truck, if you have like a Ryder truck unloading somebody's like entire apartment,
Right.
spots 1 and 2 are stuck for the
Those
day.
last two spaces will not be able to.
They'll have to do a
Yeah, that'll have to
janky.
be coordinated with deliveries and moving in and out, yes.
I believe if the board will indulge us, I believe that the past chair who was involved in this, writing this bylaw, had something to say. Would you like to come forward, Mr. Jurius? You can chair in the chair. Mr. Diab Jurius.
Good
The
evening,
eminent
everyone.
Mr. Jurius. Dr.
Bruce
Jurius.
Day, 26 Canal Street, former board member. So I apologize for not being here for the first go-round. You would have heard my views then, but I wasn't. So I'm really concerned about this 5-foot buffer. We made a promise to the residents that we would protect them. This is not doing so. Especially if you have to make it accessible, there is no buffer. We said we would have a 10-foot buffer up against residential zones. And I thought that was sacrosanct, especially since this building is now moving forward. So you're now giving relief on both ends. You know what tells me is that building is too big for the lot. This parking, pardon my language, is insane. You've got tandem parking for multiple units. How are you going to coordinate? That's a done deal, I understand, but I can tell you that people will be parking along that back line way before they park in a tandem lot. So that is going to be an active zone right up against the neighbor. One of the things that I felt was important on the board was to recognize that this board has a duty not just to the current owners of the neighboring properties, but all of those coming after. I don't think that it matters whether the current owner is on board with this plan or not. It's the board's duty to protect the property rights of the next many owners. So I don't know what the solution is here. One solution could be to ease the parking requirements. It doesn't get rid of the problems you have if you have to turn extra parking into accessible parking. The tandem, as I'm saying, the tandem structure makes it extremely difficult. The only thing I can do is if you take that loading zone and you turn it into a parking lot and maybe put the loading zone elsewhere. But I would argue that you are violating the spirit of what we went through when we talked to the neighbors. We got so much neighborhood buy-in because they thought we would protect the abutters. And that's been the reason I got on this board many years ago, was to protect the abutters and to rezone all of those properties that were one off from Main Street back into residential so we could protect them from the development we wanted on Main Street. And in my opinion, this goes back against the promise that we made 10 years ago, or however long, 8 years ago, when we got town meeting to rezone those properties to protect those lots. And so for me, this is a no-brainer. Come up with a different parking plan, change the number of vehicles, do something, but don't violate that buffer zone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diab. That's a valid point, a couple of valid points there. Any thoughts and reaction? I've got mine, but
What's the parking requirement is 1 per space, which would be 14, and we have what here, 21 or something?
21.
And then we need 2 spaces for the commercial.
Remind me again, how many square feet is the commercial?
It's just under 2,000.
Just under 2,000.
1704.
I mean, a huge concern that we heard many times and very clearly on this property is that the street is really narrow.
Simply the math.
The number.
The math of how you, yeah. It's not actually where they'll park.
Well, math and tandem doesn't make sense, but That's just my,
So just Matt.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
The W4 parking minimum for resident is 1 space per dwelling unit or 13 spaces, correct?
There's
Plus commercial, plus
plus the
Plus
commercial.
two.
for the commercial.
Plus 2 for our commercial.
Right.
Total 15. Right now, we show 21 spaces there,
Right.
so we've got 6 extra spaces.
Yeah, but to Mr. Mr. Jurius's point, I mean, we're sacrificing what we should be doing with the neighbors. This may be a little off topic, and as Mr. Cabral pointed out at our last meeting, I'm mindful of the fact that the original mixed-use application was approved on October 21st with no appeal and recorded with the Registry of Deeds. So we're just asking, the applicant is asking for an adjustment, but I'm not convinced of the wisdom or practical value of the current parking arrangement. My background is in marketing. I don't know how you're going to market this. I mean, it's your problem, not mine, but if I were doing this, and you've already worked out the economics, I'm sure you've got it all figured out, but if I were doing this, I would get rid of the downstairs units, the downstairs commercial basement, and the downstairs, and
We did that.
do you have
We tried that iteration. This was a great suggestion, came to us. So Tim actually worked on it. We also thought that if we get rid of that and come from the Glenwood Ave, we did that 2 iterations. The issue with that is because there's a slope, so
Right.
you have a ramp coming now in from the center. You're going to lose, at this point, you're going to lose a lot of space. All these parking which you're seeing right now here, plus now the head height too. You're going to lose on the first floor too. You want to explain to him? I think we did that whole exercise.
what if you, I didn't work this out, but
We tried that too.
what if you were to have like a center entrance where you come in
Glenwood, right?
and then you park in perpendicular?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured you could probably get 14, 16 spaces in there.
What happens to the accessibility standpoint if the 4 spaces in the back went away?
doesn't meet
It doesn't meet.
requirements.
So we have
Even
the
if you have them inside.
we have the 1 van
If you
accessible
take the outside
spot.
and put them inside,
If you just get rid of the 4. So they have 21
does not meet
spots.
requirements.
They have 21 spots by zoning code. They are required to have 15. So if you have 21 minus 4, you're still above the 15. Whether or not they're functional 15, question, but technically speaking, they have the spots required, but they have the 1 van accessible. If you lose the 4 in the back to honor the setbacks for the neighborhood, what happens to the accessibility?
So they have to be convertible to accessible spaces.
Okay, so we have the 1 clearly accessible spot, and then we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, math is hard, 16 inside? Yeah. So none, but the 16 aren't convertible, and that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Okay.
Once you assign spaces,
But if the 16 aren't assigned,
there may be some flexibility.
I mean, the other issue that we heard really loudly on this process is that Glenwood Ave is really narrow, and I want to say it's a blind street. Is it? It's like there's. It's not
Coming
a
onto
through
Main Street, it's not easy to get out of there.
and it's not a through street, is it?
No, it's not. It's a dead end.
So, yeah, so you're going to have cars parked blocking. I mean, it's really hard to take all of the residents that would then not have parking and put them on a very narrow street with kids playing and guarantee their safety. And especially if you clear, so no parking along the side of the building, now you've pushed all the cars in front of the neighbors' houses.
That's what they're worried
Residents in a
about.
rush with their little kids riding their bikes because
all-
it
they
seems
all-
like a safe street, it's a dead end.
They all expressed that concern.
Yep, that came
Currently,
across
though,
loud and clear.
there is no curb in front of the current Meineke or.
No.
Yeah, I mean, this is an
So
improvement,
you'll
there's a
have
sidewalk.
Yeah, no, I can
street
raise that.
parking with the sidewalk improvement on the front will increase the accessible
No, you're-
parking spaces during
Probably gaining 5
the
spaces.
day.
But you cannot.
You cannot convert them. It doesn't solve the accessible part, but it does solve the
It
parking
does
on.
give you parking
Gives you
for the
more
commercial
parking
space.
in general.
Likely for the commercial spaces.
And I mean, whether it's a flaw in the zoning code or not, the zoning code does not specify what type of parking it needs to be. It just says one per residential unit.
But the building code requires that they be accessible.
Accessible, yes, but functional, no. So to say, oh, well, they have 15 spots, they meet the code, but it's not good enough because Glenwood Ave is narrow, like that's, it's a flaw in the
You
zoning.
can always
but-
explore a variance with the.
Sure, and I'm not saying we should do that. Accessible is in a different bucket, but just from a functional standpoint of a resident that does not require an accessible unit, the zoning code is technically being met from a parking.
I mean, technically, you could take
Ratio.
2 spaces out of the garage, and then potentially you have the width to make something accessible, right? I don't know.
There's flexibility because.
But
there
now you've
are
like created like so much traffic on Glenwood, like so many parked cars
We
on
don't know
Glenwood
about
Ave.
traffic on Glenwood.
So with accessibility, you also need pathways to them.
Sure.
And that's like an AI solution to a human problem. Like, okay, I guess it's right. Like, thanks, Claude. Like, it's not. How are we going to sell the like? This is.
The building as proposed needs 15 spots. There are 21 proposed. The 4 in the back encroach on the setback in the back. If those 4 go away to honor the rear setback, you're
No,
still.
I think we know what we're saying. We're just
above
saying
and
like,
beyond.
but you're not
And then we
meeting
need to
the.
solve for the accessible interiorly. So then it's
Which
how
is
do
a
you create?
showstopper.
How do you create the space inside? Because you still have a space to take away and still meet the zoning code. So can one spot in the building or under the building in that lower section, if one comes out, does it open up a 5-foot accessibility standpoint to meet the requirement?
Yeah, if we
In one
were to
regard.
waive the
Yeah.
number of required spaces, in
But you
other
don't even
words.
have to waive it. You're still within the number. They only need 15.
But there's no chance of converting spaces.
We wouldn't necessarily need to if they got rid of one to make it wide enough.
You would need,
Do you know what I'm saying?
because it's Route 1, spaces need to be able to be converted.
How many?
All of them, technically. All of them.
They can't do that either way, whether we keep the 4 or not.
So my
You just
option
probably
was,
don't need more than 4, so yeah, got
and
it.
4 is 4 the right number?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But you think
I think
4
it's
is
a
a
reasonable.
reasonable number. Got it, okay.
But I'm really in agreement with Mr. Jarius that we really need that buffer, and we owe it to the neighborhood. I mean, I think we're dropping the ball if we don't. I guess my question to Mr. Johnson and Mr. Gellot is, you say you looked at this, at a potential different parking arrangement that got rid of the downstairs. Do you have those? Did you work them up in a rough sketch, or?
I don't have those with me.
No, that's fine, but
Mr. Chairman.
but we can continue this for future discussion.
Right. Another alternative could be reducing the driveway aisle from 24 to 20, so you gain 4 feet there. Reduce the depth of the building by 1 foot, and now you have 5 feet. You could add to that 5-foot buffer in the rear. Then you have 10-foot buffer, 9-foot parking, 20-foot drive aisle.
I think we have safety concerns about the 20-foot drive aisle.
That was,
24 is required.
it's required.
However, when you reduce that, the far right spaces, looking at the picture, is more difficult to get out. All the spaces are really more difficult.
It's a 3-point turn.
So at least.
For the,
For these, it's a 3. For 7 of them, it's probably a 3-point turn. That may be more, the last 2.
for the 16
You have one
unit
16-year-old
parking
driver in there.
spots under the building.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the assignment plan? Is there an assignment plan?
There is none right now because we haven't thought about it. It could be whosoever the marketing people we're going to hire, the firm. They will decide what they want to do with the building.
I think the assignment plan needs to be that all 10 of those spaces need to be assigned to the same unit.
I would agree with that.
or you have somebody managing it, which
Or
is
you have,
expensive.
or you have an, it's a 24-hour, that
That's
is,
expensive to the building.
So it's
Very,
either or.
HOA.
yeah. Not even a way, it's a rental. This is a rental
Doorman
property,
building.
correct? Not a,
Yeah,
this is a rental.
a valet, yeah.
Boston area.
It's a for sale, it's an ownership. Oh, so
So you're selling the spaces separate from the units?
Well, we don't know that as of right now. When she was asking, is it a rental property or a condo for sale? I said it's condo
it'll be
for
condo for
sale.
sale.
So do you envision, I mean, just in your own thought process, did you envision that all of these tandem spaces would be individually, go to individual units, and that some units would not even have a parking space?
That's practical, you know.
That they wouldn't need one because there's a bus stop right there?
There's a one-bedroom unit in there which was
Well, if
been
you
talking
keep the
to the
four in the
marketing
back,
people. I said
you know.
probably not, you know.
There's 15 spots if the 4 in the back stay.
So by Mr. Kennedy's count, you've got, what is it, 8 plus 4,
You have
12 spaces.
How do you get the 15 that you just
Math
mentioned?
is hard. 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 11 across, not including the van. 5
11,
and
not
3.
11 across. 5 is
You
8.
have 8 across.
8
4 in
across.
the back,
12.
12.
10, 12, I'm sorry.
4, so, okay.
Math is hard, math is hard, I'm sorry. Counting is apparently hard. I meant 12.
All right, well, we've been at this now for 40 minutes. What are we going to do here? What, do we want to have the applicant come back with the proposal that they felt didn't work? Is that productive for them or for us?
Wait, which of these are EV spaces? Or wired for EV?
Weren't they all wired for EV?
Are they all,
Potentially wired? Is that
how
right?
can you do that for the back row?
How could you do it, or how can you?
Like, how are you, don't you need a charging station?
They only need to do 20%, so they could do all the front.
The front row.
Go ahead, yes, please.
Sid, the thing that I'm hearing here is that the board is just very concerned about, I think all of the problems here, all the wheel spinning is because of the tandem parking. We have had conversations about your tandem parking. I think what you need to do is you need to prove to the board why this is your only option. Once you can prove that, once everyone here can say, okay, I understand.
I get it, yeah.
It's the only thing that we can do to move forward. I'm not hearing any major issues about design anymore. I'm not hearing any major issues
Haven't
about.
gotten to them. We're waiting for design review. Don't worry.
I think you need to show the board why it doesn't work if you don't think it works, or come to the board and say, here's an option that works that doesn't have tandem parking. I know you don't want to have to come back, but I think that's what you're going to have to do in order to get a decision.
Yeah, I think we did iteration. We tried on it. We don't have it right now over here, but we did the homework on it.
Yeah, we can look at it some more.
Yeah.
I
But
just
does
think
that
I think your units would be more saleable.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Does that, excuse me.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Does that also include having a 10-foot buffer in the back, or we're keeping the 5-foot buffer?
I'd like to see a 10-foot buffer.
I think you need to show why you can't have the 10-foot buffer, why you can't have it. You know, even you use this exact thing with red overlay, right? Of why it doesn't work. Yeah.
I would also suggest you need a turning radius on the fire tube. If you come back and it's something similar to this, we need a template to show that you can get out of those last 2 or 3 spots.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you have 21 spots, you need 15.
To the question of the design, I find that what we saw tonight, or this version, is fine with me. I'm happy with it, but I would agree with Carrie. I'd like to see what the design review committee says about it. They were stickler on the first go round. I think this is very close to what you had the first time, so I don't anticipate problems, but I don't want to. I'm not going to think like the DRC does, so I won't presume that much. Other than that, as Taylor said, I don't see any other issues. Anything further?
In in your preamble, when you were reading the description, there were several things that are required.
Let me go back.
So I want to understand, although they're going to go back and look at it, is a special permit required to allow tandem parking? I don't know. Apparently it is.
Apparently it is.
But it's not part of the Main Street mixed-use district requirements as far as counting parking.
Right.
So-
Not explicitly.
I would say not even implicitly.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So what I don't want to do is whatever we eventually approve for this, and I assume that we'll come to something that works. I don't want us to approve it, no offense, have it go back to you and have you look at it and say, well, they didn't give you a waiver for something else. I want to make sure we've checked all those boxes. So
Yeah.
if we do need if we end up having tandem parking and we need a special permit for tandem parking, we need to give that, if we agree with that. Everything we've got in there, I want to make sure we have it. I just don't want, no offense, I don't want to see this project again after we're done with it.
No offense.
Me too.
Exactly.
I just follow
No one wants to-
bylaws.
Peace.
Simple as that.
John's
So
good.
I would prefer that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would prefer a special permit for
Okay.
allowing
So if,
tandem parking. I mean, very explicitly said.
And we appreciate your guidance very much.
So if we approve something with tandem parking, for whatever reason, let's have a special permit. If there's anything else in here, what you were just reading and going through that, let's just make sure that we have those all added into the special permit.
That way I can issue a permit.
Yes.
That's right. That's
I actually want to work
the
with
goal
you.
here.
No, I'm not against you.
I'd like
I
to,
never thought you did, you were.
I'd like to see that Meineke thing gone.
Yes.
Hey, so I think everybody would.
Yeah.
However, it needs to be with something I concur.
Yes, of course. Anything else?
If we have to come back, are we coming quickly over here?
Yeah,
We
sure.
have everything ready, used to just, we did that exercise already, for the parking.
July 9th?
We come back next week if you want.
Next week.
We're having an online meeting.
Oh,
next
we
week.
are having an
Online
online meeting next Tuesday, so you think you could be ready for that?
Right?
We'll be back next Tuesday.
Okay. Then
That'll be
I would-
online.
I would entertain a motion to continue this hearing to June 16th.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members.
Thanks for your cooperation.
Thank you, the members.
Thank you, Diab.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Tom. Oh, the fun begins.
So, actually, before you stand up,
I did.
how are we going to do it?
We have already failed.
Every parking space needs to be convertible. That's going to be true with 10 condos. Every single
I've
parking
already,
space.
unless it's not a subject.
Those, I believe, are going to be assigned.
I spoke with them and he said that they were not going to be so.
Oh,
So I've been
that is a
proactive.
change. Okay. I just want to make sure, because we come back around to the same place again.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
I
Thank
want to be
you.
assigned at one point.
Do we need a motion to close the public hearing? Or, no, we continued it. That's right. That's right.
Did
Never
we ever
mind.
open the meeting?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Do we have to vote to open a meeting? I always just announce it.
Kind of announce it.
That's what I did. Next up is the matter concerning 10 Converse Place and also known as 33 Mount Vernon Street. A discussion regarding proposed changes to the approved special permit of 10 Converse Place. Let me preface this discussion with a few points. Page 11 of the executed permit dated March 31st, 2026, item number 2 under conditions says, quote, "Plan changes, colon, if any aspect of the project substantially deviates from the approved plans referenced herein, the applicant will be required to receive board approval for such plan changes," unquote. Therefore, I would say tonight, and I'm welcome anybody contrary views, I would say our sole concern tonight is to determine whether the applicant's proposed changes represent a substantial deviation from the approved special permit. And these are the changes that we're considering. Thank you, Ann.
How long do you think it'll be? You want them?
Oh, you know what? That's a very good point. Would you mind if we table this for a second?
Agreed?
Because we've got people here for their proposals.
No, perfect.
Thank you,
That's
Caleb.
no reason to make them wait.
We will postpone 10 Converse Place and get to it momentarily. What we have up first is ZBA petition 26-09, 189 High Street, a special permit approval for the demolition and reconstruction of a single-family home with additions that will exceed the gross floor area of the original gross floor area of an original non-conforming structure and will not be located in the same footprint. The applicants here can come forward. Nobody's here for that. Boy, I'm really, I should have asked before I. All right, well, let's postpone that one, and then we'll talk about 17 Dick Street. This concerns ZBA petition 26-10. Are they here? You're all for that? Okay, great. 26-10, 17 Dick Street, a site plan approval for the demolition and reconstruction of a single-family home that will result in construction that creates floor area equal to or greater than 5,000 square feet and results in a grade change of more than 500 square feet by more than 6%. I welcome the applicants to come forward, represented by the eminent Mark Vaughn.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For the record, Attorney Mark Vaughn here tonight representing the applicant.
Could you pull the microphone closer to you?
Make sure you're in. Right, yeah. So with me tonight is Michael Ravens, who is the applicant and proud homeowner of the property at 17 Dix, which he acquired over the past year. He and his wife are looking to build a new home at this property, and they are engaged Julie McDonald with Olson Lewis Architects to come up with a plan for a home. This is an interesting property in that, if you're familiar with it, it is a home today that actually is violative of the front yard setback, the existing home that's on there. I think it's a Cape-style home that's on there today. Front yard setback is a 25-foot requirement, and I think the existing home is about 21 feet from the front yard. So in order for us to have a compliant home, we have to push it back 4 or 5 feet, and if we did submit photos and whatnot with the package, but there's a dramatic drop-off in grade at the back of the house. The property ultimately backs up onto Wedge Pond. It's a pretty deep lot. I think the house sits, about 200 feet from Wedge Pond, so there's no Conservation Commission trigger. It's far enough away. But bottom line is that we trigger that infamous grade change provision, 500 square feet, 6% or more. So our engineer designed a drainage plan that I think is being reviewed by the town engineer. And I know Julie and her team at Olson Lewis have come up with a house design that they feel is very befitting of the neighborhood. I think it's high quality home. The existing house that is there today is not considered historic. We did get a letter from the Historic Commission acknowledging as such, so we're entitled to a demolition permit by virtue of that, but obviously we can't construct a new home until we get the site plan approval. So the other site plan trigger, obviously the 5,000 square feet, we're just marginally over that. It's 5,071 square feet, so but it's primarily the grade change trigger. So rather than my babbling on here, I guess if you have any questions or comments whatsoever, happy to answer it. But
Ian, could you pull up some of the elevations and schematics? Anybody want to start the discussion, John?
I was just wondering how many square feet is being changed by more than 6%.
Oh, the actual grade, the ground? I don't have that.
well, it's on the plan. I think it's about 5,000 square feet.
5,892.
That's being,
That
Altered
is being
by
altered.
more than 6%.
Correct.
yes.
And how much? How many feet? How tall is the retaining wall to the rear?
They vary, but this back one is about 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt.
Sorry, I'm the landscape
Yeah.
designer. Yeah, there's basically
Matt will rec-
you walk out the basement and then there's a 2-foot retaining wall that's at grade, at this grade here. So this is all kind of flat around the house. And then this on the other side of this wall, it drops off 2 feet for the wall height, and then it rolls down, probably another like 6 feet by the time you get out to this point into the yard.
That wall doesn't exist now?
So currently what exists is like a really steep slope with kind of some chunks of like riprap that's there. There's like a concrete staircase, probably built in the, 60s or 70s, and just basically like a riprap wall with like a bunch of weeds that have kind of encroached on it over time. But it's currently pretty steep.
You said the current setback is 25?
That's what's required.
But what is it now?
I think it's 21.
And you're going to push it back to how far? What's the setback that you're proposing?
It's got to be beyond.
30. So so you're beginning to encroach on the slope. I see what you're saying. So that the so-called basement would come out on that slope.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're trying to, so you're, I don't put words in your mouth, but you're trying to level it off so you've got some usable space there outside the back.
Yeah, directly outside that lower level, yeah.
And the proposed wall you said was 3 feet high?
2 feet.
2 feet high.
Yeah, we're trying to do most of it with grade, like stretching that grade out a little bit more, so it's more gentle, as to it being as abrupt as it is.
You anticipate doing anything else, maybe for access to the pond?
Nope.
Just, that's where you're leaving it.
We're basically doing all the work just around the kind of the footprint of the house.
Okay.
Leaving that whole back stretch down to the pond untouched. There's actually some really nice big mature trees in between the back of the house and the pond edge. So those are all, undisturbed on that whole back part of the lot.
So you're not disturbing any existing trees?
We
Just out at the
I think
front.
there's one tree up
there's-
front that's
Yeah.
coming down.
It's,
part of the house.
Trying to picture, it's not a big tree, is it? I'm trying to picture it.
It's not. It's really the ones in the backyard, particularly the back right side of the site, and then further out heading towards Wedge Pond. There's some huge, sugar maples, a couple big oaks that are back there.
Which are saying. Correct.
Which are being saved, correct.
Yeah, I'd like to see this one tree that's,
This isn't the correct property that is.
Yeah, that doesn't look right from,
no, I understand, that's down on Glengarry.
Ian, you want 17 Dick Street?
This is,
In the one
that's
drive,
not our house.
17 Dix, there's a landscape plan.
Yeah, it was
Changed.
There should also be photos.
okay,
Yeah, that's a great shot of it right there on the right.
so you're getting rid of that large tree on the right? Or do you mean all the small ones in the front of the?
It's just, there's one tree on the right side of the house that's up closer to the street.
right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're getting rid of that.
Yeah, it's going to be awfully close to the foundation. And,
What type of tree is that? How, is it mature? It looks mature.
It looks like it's flowering in that picture, I'm gonna guess. Does it have a pink flower on it?
Looks like it.
Looks like it.
Dogwood?
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that's a Florida dogwood, probably.
Big dogwood.
Does our Lorax have any opinion on this?
I hate to see any tree get cut down.
We all
I
do.
would ask them to replace it with a canopy tree on site, as I would always ask. Sometimes trees do have to come down to build, but I don't like
Yeah,
it.
you have a lot of wires in the front, but you've got a little bit more space now that you're scooting back.
I'd like to, can we see the backyard, Ian? Yeah, like there. I like,
That was really nauseating.
yeah.
there's a lot, I was getting seasick. There's a
Okay,
lot of
there we go.
opportunity there for planting some nice trees,
They have a
although
view
they
of
may
the
want a
water
nice
there.
view of the pond too.
So yeah, I mean, you sit up kind of high, even out of that basement level. Like, there's some pretty nice views down.
Gorgeous.
This
So the
is,
6-foot retaining wall won't be as far out as the bottom of that slope. Where will that be?
It's not 6.
Sorry, 2 foot, only 2 feet, and that will be how far down that staircase?
So if you can take a closer look at the plan, the existing condition survey is grayscaled on that.
the background.
So maybe I can show you where that concrete stair is.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, I see,
That
okay.
actually
Yeah,
kind of shows it. That's like a hybrid.
okay.
It doesn't show all the topography
But that
on this
is-
one, but you see that
yeah.
concrete stair, that's existing, that like diagonal
Yep.
jut.
So it's, the retaining wall is basically just supporting the deck. It's not,
Correct.
yeah, okay.
Well, it's not the deck, it's supporting the patio
The
that's underneath.
space
the deck.
outside, yeah, okay, gotcha.
So you're obviously getting rid of the stairway.
Yeah. I
And then
think,
you've got some kind of stairway on the right there.
yeah, so we're trying to have access to get down onto the lawn, so on the left side of the house. It's pretty similar to the existing grade that's currently there to get a mower down there. Then on the right side, we're just introducing a little wall on the right to hold back the slope, and then just like a grass path that winds down into the backyard.
So you're hitting the setbacks, but you're 71 feet over the square foot requirement, and you're moving the grade around. Is that the take home? Good looking house.
And the setbacks on, the side setbacks are fine, right? 18.7 and 15.5, is that?
Well, it's just site plan review, otherwise, it's not special permit review.
No, it's not, I
Yeah,
understand.
so they have to, I'm just saying, yeah.
Okay, so we're good there. I don't have a problem with, I mean, I like the design, I think it's really a nice design. This would become the largest house on Dick Street and Dick's Terrace. No sin in that. The lot is also the second largest lot on the street at 26,160 square feet. The house next door, which one of my favorite houses in Winchester, number 19, I think, has like a 40,000 square foot lot. I don't know. I would support a favorable motion. Any further comments?
I would move to recommend favorable action on this application based on the fact that it doesn't create detriment to the neighborhood
Would you,
or the environment.
would you
except
like
for the
to
tree.
add?
Could I make a friendly motion to amend, recommending that a canopy tree be planted to replace the one that's being removed?
Do I second your amendment, or do I accept your amendment?
Just accept my
I
amendment.
accept your amendment.
Okay.
I friendly accept your
Is
friendly.
there a second to Carrie's motion?
I'll second that.
We'll go around the room. John?
yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Yes, me too, so it's unanimous.
Great.
Thank you.
Very much
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
Good luck with the
luck with
project.
the ZBA.
Didn't mean to have you outnumbered here tonight, but we figured a question could come up that we want to make sure we do. So,
Good to
yeah.
have everybody.
Good to have you here.
Yeah.
And congratulations on Washington Swanton. You did a good job on that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
That was a journey.
That was a yeoman's
I'm not
work.
sure it's over yet. Yeah.
Oh, it never is. Not until they put the shovel in the ground.
Back to the ZBA.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, good night. All right, let's get back to, unless somebody wants to talk about High Street, let's get back to 10 Converse Place.
I think that's,
Yeah, that's,
As I was saying, this is essentially what, and I sent to you about an hour and a half ago, the applicant's follow-up memo, which basically says the same thing, but I gleaned this from the previous material, so you can see pretty graphically what's changing here. I was going to continue. In addition to what's there on the screen, the total square footage of the development is approximately 66,000 square feet. Approximately 40% of the site land area will be dedicated to public open space. 34 below-grade parking spaces, approximately 14,000 square feet, with 2 accessible spaces at ground level. The memorandum of understanding regarding this appeal that's been dismissed or withdrawn, the memorandum of understanding between Urban Spaces and the plaintiffs in the appeal designates 3 units to be income restricted. That would be Unit 206 at 750 square feet, Unit 208 at 700 square feet, and Unit 309 at 700 square feet. Units 206 and 208 are on the second floor overlooking Converse Place, and Unit 309 is on the third floor overlooking the corner of Converse and Mount Vernon. This arrangement was apparently acceptable to the plaintiffs, so in my personal opinion, I don't think we need to discuss that particular aspect of it, the placement and the size. As I said before, I would like to limit the discussion to a motion as to whether to allow the town planner to approve these changes administratively, so long as the number of units does not change. To that end, our discussion should center on whether the proposed changes are minor or substantial. If we deem them to be minor, we would grant the town planner the authority to approve the changes as appropriate. If we deem them substantial, the changes would be reviewed by the planning board, by the full planning board at a later date at a public hearing. There will be no public comment tonight. Sorry, Monty. So, I open the floor to discussion.
I mean, I'm happy to lead off. I think that we, obviously arrived at the special permit approval after a long process and a difficult one, and I know everybody's excited to just quietly sign a piece of paper in a back room and keep it moving forward, but I think a big piece of the rumination was the use of the building, the population the building would serve, the role it would play in the housing inventory in Winchester, and I think reducing the number of kind of a unicorn inventory, the the larger,
Sorry.
like the,
Don't mind the brownies.
what's that?
Don't mind the brownies, sorry. We're not.
Yeah, no, good. I think reducing the number of larger 3-bedroom units by more than half at least requires addressing a change to the special permit. It's a little unusual to put the unit mix in the special permit, so I think if we included it because it was created intentionally. And I know it's a conflict-averse group, but I think you can handle public comment however you want, but I think the changes should be made in the public realm.
I
also think it's a
I
big...
welcome anyone to contradict me, but I went through the permit today backwards and forwards, and I could not find the specificity spelled out here other than the range. It just said 34 units, a mix of 1 and 2 and 3 bedroom, a range from 946 to 2198 square feet.
So we don't.
I'm wrong.
So where did these numbers come from?
They
You're
came
saying
from
the
a
discussion,
memo that Paul wrote before we approved this.
which was information that we requested to approve the special permit.
Yes, exactly. So it's relevant. I'm not saying it's not relevant, but it's not specifically in the permit. That's why I raised the question.
I believe the special permit indicated the number of each designated unit size, but not the square footage of said units.
Does, and I'm pulling
Like
it
it
up.
says 4 1-bedroom, 17
On
2-bedrooms, 13
proposal D, it says of the 34 units, 4 are 1-bedroom units, 17 are 2-bedroom units, and 13 are 3-bedroom units. Unit sizes range from 946 to 2180. But it didn't specify the range here that we have here. That's it.
Distribution of 1 and 2 and 3 bedrooms were specified.
That's it.
But that was a much more eloquently way of saying that than I thank you.
I mean, again, the unicorn inventory. I mean, we have 1 bedroom, which is not changing here, but we don't really have. This was a significant number of 3-bedroom.
It was. Now, according to the applicant, his marketing studies led him to alter this because there was some determination on his part that the 3 bedrooms were not going to be as popular as the 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, I don't at all want to revisit what will always be remembered as an extremely violent piece of this, but I think we all know that's I would feel better as an elected member of the board that approved the special permit confirming that with an independent market analysis. I don't care if that's a letter from a realtor we trust, but I really hesitate to hang the entire decision on information that is conveniently reinforcing a change that has been decided outside
Why do you
this
think he
body.
wants the change?
What's that?
Why do you think he wants the change?
I mean, I'm just saying, I think you could get a marketing analysis to reinforce whatever you have to do to make your building profitable. And I think we just need someone to say, there's no way you're going to sell 3-bedroom units here, you should skew it towards 2-and-1s.
So an independent analysis.
Well, yeah, you're not,
Units are going to sell because we don't have the inventory for sale at all. We have rental units coming. We don't have for sale condo units. A condo building for ownership hasn't been approved in Winchester since 2019. So
And again, it's a process point to me. It's sort of like us deciding quietly to let Taylor sign it in his office is no better than them deciding quietly in executive session to force the unit to change. Like, we just need to put it in a public hearing and say, fine, go for it.
I mean, it's not,
And I think with independent, I just think we need someone else to say.
there isn't real, like, you know, the person to make that assessment is really probably not a realtor. You know,
I don't care who does it.
It's a marketer.
Yeah, and, you know, it's a difficult building to comp out. I don't know what numbers he's using.
John, in your professional opinion, in a building of this nature, which is obviously a very nice building, it's going to attract some.
It's the intention.
Exactly, it's going to attract some high rollers as well as middle of the roaders. But what are the chances that somebody's going to come in and I mean, a lot of people come in and pre-buy, put down a down payment. I want a 3-bedroom unit.
That's the hope.
I know that's the hope.
Yeah.
But
The hope is
how likely is that?
really likely.
Yeah.
You're going to sell you're going
It will
to,
be all sold before this building is done.
well,
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know if,
90%.
I think
90% of them.
But I'd say
I mean, I Ching said she could sell this very quickly.
we have to know where the pricing is. What holds it,
assuming the pricing
is always a big issue.
So I guess the point
The other
I'm
thing,
trying to make is
it
we
has
can
one
sit
other
here.
problem, which is the parking.
Yeah, but we can
Move up
sit
the
here.
price.
But the number of units is sort of fine. I mean, we're not changing the number of units either way.
No, but he only has one space per.
Oh, so you're
And
saying
so
the
when you
value
think
of the
about
unit is capped.
expensive condos in Winchester, you would go to Dick Street. They have
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
not tandem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you start actually going to spend your money.
Yeah.
You think about it.
When I was newly married, my wife and I were considering buying a condo. We lived in Hoboken, which was highly urbanized, and there was a warehouse that was being converted into condos. And we seriously considered buying a 1-bedroom condo there, and we decided we needed 2. And we looked at the guy's layout. Nothing had started yet, and we said, "Can we buy 2 adjacent condos?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely." That could happen here. Somebody could come in and say, "I want a 4-bedroom condo."
Absolutely.
Nothing's been built yet, and Paul said, "Yeah, here's how much it's going to cost you," and say, "Yeah, here's the down payment," and that could happen time and time again. So he can say he's going to have, 6 3-bedroom apartments. He's going to wind up with 8 or 12.
I mean, I don't super care what the outcome is, but for me, the process has to be done. Like, we have had so much of this happening in back rooms, and
Yep.
this should be a public hearing where we readdress
yeah,
10 Converse
very good
Place
point.
and say, the promise has changed. This is the new result.
I would very much agree with you if they were shifting from 3 to 1 bedroom, because that to me is a substantial difference of intended purchaser. And that's what I was expecting. I expected when they just kind of vaguely said we're changing the interior units, that they were going more toward the 1 bedroom, because that was everything that we had seen in between approval of 331 until an hour ago when this came about to be. It was a shift from 3 to 1.
There's effectively only one market
And I
rate,
think that is that's a big change. Going from 3 to 2, seeing the 2-bedroom numbers change and seeing the size of them not dramatically change, I feel like the intended end user has not changed dramatically enough that we're doing the community a disservice.
Yeah, except that we're allowing 3 teeny little units to count as our.
Yeah, you had brought that up in your note to me.
Pretty shameful.
Can you say again what you just said?
I mean,
just-
we're looking away from the fact that we are allowing compromised quality for the affordable housing units, and that should be said.
But they were happy with it.
Of course, the
We're not
applicant's
allowing
happy with it.
anything for any. We approved
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
the two plaintiffs were happy with it.
permit has no on-site
guess I
affordable
was one of the
housing, and
plaintiffs.
all the units will be built from our standpoint to the same standard. If there is some kind of side deal happening.
I mean, this is
outside
the side deal. That's what I'm saying. The side deal is that,
But not, this.
These are-
This is just a reconfiguration of the interior.
and
walls.
again, like, I just think we should have a public hearing, and we should just say, okay, we approved them in a public hearing. We adjusted this, we did whatever we needed to do. I think it's a significant reduction in the number of 3-bedroom units.
If there'd been no lawsuit, if there'd been nothing else happened, and they came to us and said, we wanted to do this, our internal marketing analysis said we wanted to change the mix to this.
Yeah, I would still say less than half is a big change for inventory that we were trying to specifically bring to downtown.
So I like that you say that. I would look at this and say, yeah. Okay.
I mean, but the only hill you're willing to die on is the cafe on the water.
That is a hill. No, and I didn't die on that hill. Actually, we ended up saying.
I know.
Everyone has their own.
I mean, you
I
kind
think-
you died gloriously and won the war. I mean, arguably
The number
died.
of 2 and 3 bedrooms has not changed. The ratio of the 2 and 3 bedrooms has changed. Do I think it's significant, these changes proposed? No. Do I like how we got to them? Not one bit. But do I think that they're significant? If there'd been no lawsuit, if they just come to us and said, we've looked at this, we'd like to rejigger the inside, I would never have used the word rejiggering, but that feels very unscientific. But I'd have said, okay. So I don't see why. I'm not the lawsuit.
I would say we need to present this because we sold a luxury building with large units.
And we're still getting a luxury building with large units. We're just getting a slightly different mix of the large units. If it was going from
We're
3 to
looking at the same
1,
numbers.
I would absolutely be 100% aligned with you. Going from 3 to 2s, it's still a downsizing person, couple, family is looking at going from a large single-family home to a condominium that serves their needs in a different phase
I
of
know,
life.
I mean,
I think that a 2-bedroom can equally serve the same community. So having going from 32 bedroom and 3 bedrooms combined to 32 bedroom and 3 bedrooms combined, and the size of said 3-bedroom and 2 bedrooms is not significantly changing. I think we're still serving the same clientele that the community supported, and I would not consider this to be.
I'm just less comfortable speaking for the community that supported it without giving them a say. That's it. I mean, I don't like. I again ran saying I'm okay going from being a 3-2 to being a 4-1. Like I'm okay with it, but I will continue to advocate for the people who elected us being part of the process. And I think it should be in a public hearing because this is the one opportunity that we have to bring this entire issue to a public hearing. But it's okay. Take the vote. Go for it.
The public hearing.
We're all tired.
So what we need to do tonight, I think, as being directed by the chair, which I agree with, is deciding not whether we like this, not whether this is better, whether it's
Is it
worse.
significant change?
Is it significant change?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So not speaking for you, you might say, someone might say, it's a significant change, and I like it better, but significant, so we need to reconsider it.
Yes, I don't necessarily.
You don't necessarily think
disagree
that.
with it.
I'm going to say that I don't think it's significant, and I don't care about the two differences. So I feel like your strong desire to bring it to a public hearing, something that if we as a board ultimately determine is not significant, would be kind of awkward to say to the public, we don't think this is significant, but what do you think? Sort of that's what we have in special
So it's
permit.
better to not.
It's what we have in special permit is if it's not significant, then we don't need to reopen the special permit. If everything is significant, so everything has to go before the
To me,
public.
if we bring it to the we're deciding right now whether or not this is a significant change.
Yeah, right.
If we decide it's a significant change, we bring it to a public hearing,
Yes.
and then we can decide it's a significantly beneficial change,
Yes.
and we can approve it.
Yes.
That is a totally legitimate pathway.
Yep.
That's a pathway we could
100%.
all be happy with.
100%. However, the first step is whether it's significant or not.
I think
we don't
reduction
wanna
by
bring-
more than half is of the. I've said it like 4 times. Like
No,
that's it.
and I've said it 4 times and I'm really tired, and I'm sorry that I'm really tired. I feel like the choice is whether significant or not.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And not whether we like it or not. And I don't want to bring anything to the public or a public hearing that we ultimately think is insignificant, because that just seems like a waste of their time, waste of everyone's time.
Right.
So, I think it's insignificant, and I would. I'm not going to make the motion now, but I would think that authorizing the town planner to review and approve these proposed changes and come back to us if the proposed changes were to deviate more than what we see here, using some of...
What's the threshold, though? It changed by more than half.
We got a professional town planner and his professional opinion on these. If it changes, deviates, if it comes back that the 24 2-bedrooms are 1180
I think he did bring it to us because it's not. I'm just saying. I think he did bring it to us because it's not.
No, it was brought to us from the applicant who's asking for the permit to be adjusted. And we can, as I said, we can determine that they're not significant and let Taylor fix it administratively. It's a simple fix. The applicant doesn't need to be involved. Or, and I'm not averse to what you're saying. But I'm not averse to what Brian's saying. John, you have a thought? I know you do.
I think we are, fundamentally with Carrie, that we're supposed to allow the public to make comment on the things that we do. So I really think we should not be trying to keep them out. If who knows, maybe no one will find out.
I hope it's an empty room and
no one shows up.
Public hearing.
No one shows up. Then we have a clear conscience, right?
Yeah,
we can go the way we want.
Yeah, if we have a note that says either way, that will be easier. That's what the people are asking for. Great, let's stamp it.
But the same, we have to be clear about we're talking about one issue here. We're not going to talk about the height.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's all we're talking about.
We have one narrow.
Not talking about the roof. Please.
We're not talking about the affordable housing because that's not an us problem.
I will say that I attended many of these meetings, not as many as you guys did. You were in it way longer than I was.
In the thick of it.
But as a private citizen of of Winchester, I took an interest in this project and attended many of the meetings. I did not hear a single comment about the interior of the building. I heard a lot of comments about the design. I heard a lot of comments about the height. I heard a lot of comments about the facings.
You mean about the unit mix?
Yes.
The only one.
I heard many
I do
comments
think they were said, though.
The only
about
unit
the
mix.
exterior of the
Yeah.
building.
The only comments about the unit mix came from those who were concerned about affordable housing, where they wanted 1 3-bedroom and
Fair enough.
2 2-bedroom and 1.
But this-
That was it.
Well, there were comments in the downsizing discussion that this is a place people would downsize to
Right.
from very large homes because
Right.
that's quite tough. To
And there was a
But
little
I-
bit of comment about the rate, was there a parking space for each unit?
Yes.
Because at one time,
Yep.
Yes.
it looked
That
like
was
there weren't.
mentioned.
A couple units did not have spaces, but then it's all
But
aligned.
at no point did a single person sit at this table that I was at a meeting, and there were many meetings I didn't attend, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I did not hear a single person say, I don't think there are enough 2-bedrooms.
No, you're right.
I don't think there are enough 3-bedrooms.
No, you're right.
We're not serving the community, and
I think it was named as a perk. I think the council and I think in the discussion
the COA said we need this inventory.
The Council on Aging
Yes.
liked the mix.
they liked the larger units too because
And the
these are
unit
700
size
square foot
isn't
units are
necessarily-
definitely smaller than.
If I
I'm just
bought
saying that
if I bought
public
one, I'd buy
comment-
a 4-bedroom.
Public comment.
I would buy a 4-bedroom unit because I need a bedroom to store our crap.
Yeah, 2 bedrooms. I'm not saying we don't end up finding it beneficial. I'm just saying, assuming that we've summed up, I'm just tired of this project moving forward in shadows. It's just this is our.
17,
I mean,
almost
none of it was
18.
in the shadows until there was a lawsuit.
And this is the other.
And
Exactly.
Well-
as a board,
1,800
Lose our screen.
we did.
The 2-bedroom unit is they ranged almost 1,800 square feet.
They're almost exactly the same size as the 3-bedroom
Well,
units.
but that's a big place.
It's a big 2-bedroom.
If
We might hear people enthusiastically being
Right.
like, "Now I can actually
When-
afford these."
when you
units,"
think
but they should
of,
still get a chance to say it. We are elected.
all the 2-family garrisons that were built on the west side,
Opportunity to speak on behalf
the
of the
plate
people that elected us,
is like
reflecting their opinions.
800-ish.
Otherwise, wouldn't it just be a
2
straight
floors is
box?
16. And the den, you have like,
I mean, I guess.
it's big.
Yeah.
It does.
If people
big.
actually cared in public comment in the past about this topic, I would say, yeah, it should go back to the public for further
No, I think Amy's
consideration.
making a very good point.
No one made a comment about any of this. Everyone cared a ton about the massing. They cared a lot about the top 2 floors or lack thereof of a top floor. They cared about the skyline. They cared about the views. We cared about the windows. And these things all really matter. I'm not saying these are issues that don't matter.
No, so if we were to have a public hearing, we would restrict it to this this aspect.
I don't think that we're doing the public a disservice by saying we're not opening up to public comment to open it up to hear your opinion on something that no one had an opinion on in the
I really
past, and we're still
expected
hitting
people to be here tonight, and I'm
niche.
shocked.
We're hitting the demographic the COA said that we needed. We're creating diverse ownership opportunity units still in this building. If we want to have another public hearing and that's the ultimate vote, we can welcome the comments and still make a decision. I don't think, I just hesitate to open it up to something that wasn't important to any of the community members.
Yeah, I think we need one of 2 motions. Either it's significant or it's not.
I move that the changes proposed are not significant and authorize the town planner to review and revise the special permit administratively.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Vote. John?
Aye.
Aye.
Amy?
I'm a no.
I'm a hesitant yes.
Right. At least we took a vote.
No, I think you're making some very good points, Carrie, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think it's important to keep that in mind in the future as well.
No one talked about it.
You're right, and I think Amy made a great point. It was not an issue. All right.
If they want to touch the doorknobs, that's going to be an issue.
I want to buy a duplex. I want to have like 3 bedrooms upstairs and 2 downstairs. How much would that cost? About $3 million, Monty?
I think that there is going to be a lot.
Yeah.
I've already heard chatter among the community of who wants what unit.
Oh, really?
People are picking units.
Who's going to be the HOA president? I know a few people who've said that, yes.
We need this inventory, and I think it's going to be ultimately a good building for the community.
Any mix will be fine, but I do think it changed the spirit.
All right, the last
You were.
substantial item concerns ZBA petition 26-09, 189 High Street, special permit approval for the demolition and reconstruction of a single-family home with additions that will exceed the gross floor area of the original gross floor area of the original non-conforming structure and will not be located in the same footprint. Can you bring up that map I asked?
Oh, yeah.
I want everybody to shrink that down a bit. Yeah, this is the lot. Look at the adjacent lots, and just how peculiar they are, particularly the one that's next to it and behind it. And then this one at 195. I mean, at 193, I don't know who laid out this subdivision. It's crazy. But they forced this person to somehow shoehorn a house into an impossible situation. I'm very sympathetic. I'm just bringing that up because
They did buy it.
they did buy it, I know. But I think it's an unfair burden to restrict the homeowner's ability to build a home that they want by saying, well, make it work. But it's, I'm getting ahead of it. I think I'll speak last. I've already said too much. Thoughts on this?
I think,
Want to
unless I
pull up some
misread,
elevations?
unless I misread it, it's going to meet all setbacks.
Yeah.
So the question is simply that it's is this another one of those cases where this should be by right,
Yep.
but it's not because of that bylaw that I promised you I'd get something to revise so we
Is
can
that,
fix?
is that right, Taylor? About the pre-existing non-conforming footprint?
With the demo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So otherwise, if
If it was just an
If they
open
tore
lot,
this house,
building
if this
passes
house
by
tore
right.
this house down and waited 50 years, and people forgot what happened, and they went and built this house,
Be
it would,
by right.
everything would be by right.
Yeah,
It's only because it's happening.
and they're moving it.
It's,
Sequentially.
you have to, if it's non-conforming and you want to replace it with a conforming,
I know.
And the lot is
Yes,
conforming.
please.
It's a weird lot.
It's a weird lot.
it-
But it's conforming, the lot, right? I just want to be clear.
yeah,
'cause
it's a legitimate lot.
Oh, sure, it's legit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you know,
Just a weird shaped lot.
yeah, you know.
Put a swimming pool back
Kind
there.
of miraculous you can even do a house in the setbacks with a lot that shape.
That's a lot of ledge back there, by the way. It goes up.
Yeah.
That's the Frateroli house up above it, right?
Yeah.
That mansion.
How-
Beautiful Italianate mansion.
how on earth could we say no, recommend unfavorable action to something that should be by right?
I agree.
Oh, yeah, I think everyone.
I think it's pretty odd. Why don't you make a motion to that effect?
Move to recommend favorable action on petition Z-26-09 189 High Street as it has no negative impacts on the neighborhood.
Second.
John?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Amy?
I
Carrie?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye, so that was easy. We need to, is there any other additional business, staff reports or anything?
Minutes.
I can get to that, but, nothing? Anything from you, Kevin?
ZBA letter.
Fiscal year is coming to a close. I might have questions for you
As a board?
right now.
Okay.
Next week, site plan review. If you have any questions, you know.
And we're also meeting with community scale.
Are we meeting, is that next week?
16th.
That's online.
That's online, it's Zoom. You're going to be in Europe or something?
No, I'm being right.
We don't all go to Europe.
He goes there a few times.
And that's your last opportunity to meet with the consultants.
Yes. So approval of minutes, we had 4 sets of minutes. Was it 4? Remember, I pointed out to you that one of them was dated that,
It's confusing.
so do we have 3 minutes?
I think it's 3, actually.
It's the 5th, 12th, and 18th. You saw,
If you approve the motion of all of them, then it doesn't matter. I'll consult.
I'll hear a motion to that effect.
To be
Somebody?
honest,
Move to recommend favorable action on all of the minutes.
I'll second it, but I'm trusting you on that one, Jack.
You didn't get a chance to look at them. All those in favor? Aye. Is there any further business? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
I had some. Why? You want?
Those are so good.
Oh, are they good? It was
Amazing.
They really are.
I've eaten 2 of them
Okay,
already.
they were super crunchy, and I was
Thank you,
cutting them
WinCam.
up, and I'm like, they're either wicked underbaked or super
Did we
fun.
vote? Aye.
I move to adjourn.
I just want to not have this meeting go on.
I'm shocked that it's only 8:32.